Welcome to the Futurist Mindset Show featuring Nava. Hello, my name is Tessa, and I'm here to introduce you to your host, Reagan Rodriguez. Reagan is a futurist who teaches stratosphere wealthy legacy families how to become impact investors. Hi, Reagan. How are you?
I'm doing better than I deserve. I mean, I was born in America, but I was not born in the south of France. If I was born in the south, if I had a choice on where I was born, that's where I would have wanted to have been born.
I love it. I love it. Well, we have a guest today, so I'll let
Yeah.
you introduce our guest as well.
And I kind of gave a hint. Our guest is from the south of France. So, Theo, before I kind of give an intro, go ahead and say hello because you've got the greatest accent, and our president would agree.
Yeah, thank you, Reagan. It's a pleasure to be here. I lived in the south of France for most of my life. I was born like you, Reagan, in the United States, so I think I'm
Oh,
lucky as well. Um, but I grew up most of my life in between Spain and France, and made it to Miami in 2018. So it's been a few years now that
yeah.
I'm in Florida.
And so the way Theo and I met is I believe you might have found me online. Was it like through LinkedIn or did you see, maybe you saw one of our videos or what? How did you find me, Theo? I can't remember now.
I think I found you on LinkedIn. I've reached out to
That's
you.
right. Now I
I,
remember.
I,
Yeah,
I found your email and I cold emailed you for
you did.
pitching my startup Nava, and you pushed back. I pushed back
I
again, and
did.
you remember we went back and
Tessa,
forth. And
he sends me an email and the subject line says, next billion-dollar opportunity. And I'm going, like, I've never heard that before, right? But you got my attention.
hey, it worked.
And so
So
from
that's how it
there,
started.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you're right. And I was kind of tough with him, like saying, come on, nobody's going to get you funding for this. And then later I thought, gosh, that was really mean. I wonder if it bothered him. And I thought, well, if it did, he needs to understand that when you're raising capital like this, you got to develop tough skin. So I then thought, maybe it's okay that I was a bit tough with him. I'm actually helping him. That was how I justified. And then later, because I don't think you took no for an answer, there was another email or another message. And I said, did you send another one or did I go out of my way to send you an email?
Oh, I ping ponged back to you straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, maybe I was a bit too tough on you. And I thought I could tell he was young and ambitious. And I liked his idea because, as I had shared with you, Theo, I had an event I went to that was in Brickell. And Tessa, you know that event I invited you to that Driftwood Capital
Yes,
was putting together.
yes.
And you got to imagine, so Melody went to that one. Lydia went to that one. You met Lydia and then her client, Tom. So there at where you and I got together at my favorite coffee shop there in Coral Gables. We were there and I said, oh, let's leave to the event. We'll be on time. We figured we'd give it 30 minutes beforehand. Order our Uber. We're stuck in traffic. We don't even pass Miracle Mile and it's already been 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So we're stuck in traffic. It took us just to get from there to Brickell, which is, is just the suburb over, 55 minutes, almost an hour. Now, when we went over the bridge, you know what, where Capitol Grill is on the left-hand side, if you know where I'm talking about, there was a yacht that was wanting to go by, so the bridge went up. So we did have to wait, but it was almost an hour.
Mm.
And Tessa, you don't know, we're talking 3 to 4 miles, if that at all. That took almost an hour, and it was during that Art Basel time that traffic is horrible.
Right.
So it got me to thinking of what Theo's idea is, water taxi via Uber. And that was when I said to Theo, okay, you got my attention. I think you do have something viable. And the reason why I said yes is because it was a few days after Christmas, right? We emailed and I said, tell you what I'll do. January 2nd. I'm not going to be doing anything on January 2. Why don't we get together then? And I said, you know what? I'm going to want to sleep in. Let's do 10 a.m. Normally, if I set up a meeting like that, I would do it at 8 a.m. So it was January 2nd, 10 a.m. You're stuck in traffic and send me a text. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
know, that's the
hour.
whole point of what we're talking about, traffic. So we get together, and I got to mention this, Theo. My typical barista that knows me, that normally gets my coffee, because you came in and sat and you were there, and she knows me well. So when she brought me my coffee and saw behind, she kind of pointed and goes, like, who's that guy? He's hot, right? And afterwards, she goes, who is that guy? I go, he's married, by the way, you know? And then another gal that was the barista goes, who's that guy? He said, boy, he is cute. And everyone kept saying that song. And at that point, I realized if I would have been friends with Theo, I would have been one of the cool kids in high school. Right, Tessa? He'd
That's
been the kind of kid we would have wanted to have been friends with when we were younger. So, like I said, Theo, people did ask about you at my local coffee shop. We had a good time. And on that note, tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, meaning tell us a little bit about where you've been with the project, where you are today with Nava, and where you'd like to be if you can get fully funded, because we know there's a need, specifically where we're at in Miami, there's a need. And then also, one thing you mentioned to me when we sat down for a cup of coffee is the fact that it can be an experience. So, like that event at Driftwood Capital, they'll have the next one in December. How cool if we got to go in a boat and went that way as well.
Mhm.
So, Theo, I think I've said enough. We'd love to hear from you.
Course. So like I said, I mean, I was born in the States, traveled a lot, lived most of my life in Europe, made my way back to Florida in 2018, and
Mm,
I've always been attracted to the water, to boats. I've worked on boats. I've worked as a mate, as a deckhand. I've done, 6, 7, 8 month straight trips on big yachts, cruising in the Bahamas. Very fun. I recommend it for the young crowd. Um, and fast forward a few years, I always wanted to build a business around boats. So my first intention was, okay, I have built this network. I have all these owners, all these captains.
yeah,
I know all these marinas. I can build myself a fleet. Why wouldn't I just create a website, create an LLC, and start chartering boats? And that's what I did. I started my website, my branding, acquiring clientele through Meta and Google Ads. And that's how I got into the boat rental and yacht charter business, and that I still do as of today. It's my day-to-day operational business. Came to a point where, I asked myself, how big of an impact can I make renting boats? Not that much. And I asked myself, what else can I do
yeah.
to make a bigger impact
I
and
like
help
the
people
answer.
too, and help cities, not just only for riders, but also for cities, for operators, and of course for riders. Well, the last decades, everything has been so much developed on land. I'm taking the example of Uber, Lyft, Bird, all these ride-sharing companies. Everything's been built on land, but nothing has been touched on the water. If you look at it, straight ahead, we've only seen examples such as Boat Sitter or Get My Boat that are basically yacht charter technology companies connecting boat owners to clients who want to go out on a boat for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. That's it. But mobility-wise, transportation-wise, nothing. The system, the mobility system, especially in coastal cities like Miami, is stuck in the 90s, and we could even go lower, lower, and lower. And so the question is, why hasn't nobody done this yet?
Yeah.
And I put that question aside and I said, forget it, I'm gonna do it. And I started doing it.
Good. Yeah.
Stop asking questions and start doing action. So I started, I started putting up a team, brainstorming a name, a branding code, a color, and then getting straight to work. Okay, what do we need? How can we build this? I understand the Coast Guard regulations and water regulations since I'm in the industry already, and I've been there
Yeah.
for a few years now. So I've been able to build the schema, the infrastructure that will work for this business. Many people have tried before, but unfortunately, they haven't been able to find the right recipe, the right formula, the right way to put this in place. Because you need to know
Okay.
that
Uh-huh.
if you're trying to replicate Uber but on the water, it won't work. Uber is a two-sided marketplace. Being said that they have a rider app and a owner app, a driver app, and that's it. It stops there. On the water, it's a bit different. You need to navigate regulations. You need to navigate infrastructure. The water is a different world. It has its own rules. So we've built it as a four-sided marketplace because we're dealing with more supply than demand. So we need to get everybody on board and the same ecosystem in order to make everything work once we connect all the pieces of the puzzle. Um, seems seems easy from the outside, but below the iceberg, it's a lot of work, and
Good
we've
analogy.
accomplished.
All of your analogies are of water below the iceberg, of course.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's
Kind of goes
my
with the
domain.
program, right?
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I always wonder about people from the south of France? I remember when I was in school, I would sometimes look out the window and imagine if you're in the south of France, you're overlooking the French Riviera, and if the teacher
Yeah,
says, "What are you doing looking out the window?" you'd say, "What do you think I'm doing?" I mean, it's
sure.
the French Riviera. I'm curious. Was your school? Did you overlook the French Riviera, Theo?
I went to many schools. I went to schools in Lyon. Lyon is not close to the water. It's actually closer to the Alps. And
Yeah.
I was in a soccer school. I was a fan of soccer. Actually, my first dream was to become, I mean, my second dream was to become a soccer player, professional soccer player. My first one was a firefighter. That changed really quick. And then, yeah, so I was at soccer school at Lyon and then went to Paris around 16, 17 years old to study hospitality. I put my hands in culinary arts, bartending, and I believe I did serving as well, server, for some time. I did everything in there. Worked at hotels, restaurants. When I finished my school in Paris, I just bought a train ticket. You know how easy it is to travel by train in Europe?
Oh yeah.
It's like
Love. Yeah.
taking an Uber too.
Yeah.
So bought a train ticket and just for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, just traveled all over France from city to city, working at the same time, just to make a living, pay rent, and then once I was tired or had nothing else to do in that city, I just okay, let's go to the next city, see what's happening over there. That's what I did until I ended up in Marseille in the south of France. That's where I
See.
lived for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Um,
See what I mean? I just I kind of live vicariously through him. So where you're at right now, talk to us about funding and what the need is for funding. Go ahead.
Sure. We've been bootstrapping this. I've been bootstrapping this since inception, as much as I can to get to where we want to go. Um, Look, to be honest, the main priorities for funding is to get a solid team in place. We have a solid team, but the problem is they're not working for a pay. They're working for equity, sweat equity. That being said, they
Good.
need to have enough money for a living. So they have other jobs, they have other priorities, and that makes, Nava a second priority in their day-to-day life, slowing down our go-to market. My priority is to be able to take care of these engineers, and we only have two. That being said, that people need to know we're a asset light marketplace. just like Uber, Airbnb, so on and so forth, that we don't own boats. We don't hire captains.
I wanted to get into
We,
that next. Yeah.
we don't, okay, okay. Going too fast. But
No,
just
no, no,
to
no. You're
explain,
doing just fine. I'm glad you brought that up. Keep going on
it's
that
very,
because
very important feature
it
to for people to
is.
understand.
I like that because the first time, Tessa, when I said, Come on, man, like, what do you want?" I looked at it as, oh, buy me a boat and then let me have fun and ride on the boat. And then, yeah, sure, I'll ride people around and that's how you'll get your money. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Right. And then later, Tessa, I saw that it very similar to my trees initiative
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mm-hmm.
say, instead of me raising capital to buy land, we'll partner with other farmers that have land, use that land and my trees. And that's what Theo is doing as well. If somebody owns a boat, they can use it. So similar to uh, Uber, they
Mm-hmm.
don't own the
Have the car.
cars, the other person owns it.
Yeah.
You want to talk more on that? Because Theo, you said that's an important part. And you're right, it's an important part because if not, it would make it seem as if you're saying, give me money so I could own a bunch of boats.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want that, especially if you're a boat lover? Go
of
ahead, Theo.
course. Well, I've been approached by people wanting to offer me that business plan instead, buying a full fleet of boats and
Hmm.
hiring captains. And I mean, no, it goes against the philosophy of ride sharing, asset light technology, startups, and it's impossible to scale. Once you start
That's right.
putting in liabilities in your business, you're you're putting on too much weight, especially at a early stage. And if you're thinking about, okay, let's copy this playbook. Let's start in copying this playbook to multiple different cities in Florida or the US. It's going to ask and a lot of money to do so. But if you say light, you can scale much faster in a much shorter period of time and in as many cities, as many coastal cities as possible, not only nationally, but globally.
Yeah. And again, just advice for anyone watching this that thinks, gosh, I have a passion about something. Why don't I just put together a business plan on that and have them give me money on it? Let's use logic here, guys. I know this young woman that is a realtor, but she's never sold a home. Okay, she just has a realtor license. So she lives at home with her mom and dad, and they pay all her bills, and they don't charge her rent. And this woman is in her 30s. And one day she contacted me and said, Reagan, I've got this great idea. She says, I've been looking online and I found these 10 vacation properties that are in great locations. Oh, yeah, she picked places like Costa Rica, even one in Hawaii, Tessa, all these vacation destinations that are so awesome to visit. And she said, all of these people, the Airbnbs are filled. So, what I need you to do is find funding for me so we could buy these 10 homes, right? Because it makes so much logical sense in her mind because they're assets. Says, and then we know that Airbnb, I mean, I'm looking how much Airbnb, so then I'll make the money, and then whichever investor you find for me, we'll just split it 50-50. I really wanted to say, are you even thinking logically at all? Um, she just didn't get it. Here's what that looks like. I'm a poor person. I live at home with my mom and dad. I don't really have a real job, but I'd love to travel. Well, yeah, of course you do, because you don't have a real job and you've never had a real job. So you'd love to travel. And then I'd love to have these 10 homes. Well, of course, because you don't even own a home now. Do you see how it looks? That investor, if they have money, they're intelligent and they know that they could hire a management company and they could keep all of it and hire the management company maybe at 10%, not have to give 50%. So the more I explain to her that the way it looks is you want someone else to fund your real estate retirement empire. And you've never put money away. That person did, and you want them to give you money. Why are they going to do that? Well, like one in one ear and out the other, I should say it went over her head. So one day she contacts me again and she said, I don't understand why it wouldn't work. Do you understand that this person's centered on
Mm.
her situation? You can say, wow, you're really not talking very nicely about this friend. Well, she's not a friend. Okay. She's a
Oh.
person that knows me that's this broke realtor. So one day I thought, I'm really going to help her. Instead of saying, no, I don't know anybody that will fund your vacation lifestyle. So I said, hey, I'd like to buy a home. She says, oh, really? Oh, gosh, here's my card. Here, right? Because she's never sold a home before. I said, you know what I'd like? I'd like you to find me a duplex. And on that duplex, I want one side to be completely rented out. And I want that person that rents it out to pay so much that then it would cover the mortgage on the other side. Can you find that for me? And she goes, well, Regan, if that existed, I would buy it myself. Now you get my point. And now she finally got it. I said, no one is going to give you money so that you can now have 10 vacations. And so at first, without taking a deeper dive into the project, that's what I thought Theo was offering. Buy me a nice yacht that I could have. Well, who doesn't want that? So on that note, because that's not what Theo is doing, and
Mhm.
what Theo has is very pragmatic. And speaking of pragmatic, Tessa, I even gave them a few tips of what I teach people at the Underground Club. And I said,
Mm.
maybe look for a marina that's cash flow positive, that's selling. You could get an investor to money on that, and then it's synergistic to what you're doing. So why don't you
Mhm.
share the screen, Tessa? Show people the Theo's page. Theo, was there something else that you wanted to also add? I didn't mean to cut you off. If so, now's your time.
Um,
Yeah.
I jumped off really quick about the use of funds. I mainly said that it will be used to solidify our engineering department.
Huh?
For
And
the app, just
I was
to
I was at
get
that
the.
point. And then I jumped into that we're a asset light technology company. And I still want to stay on that point
I
because
want you to. Yeah.
the majority of funding will be fueled for growth. We're
Mm.
not paying for offices or liabilities. We're funding growth. We're funding product market fit, and we're funding the ability to dominate Miami and prove this playbook here
Yeah.
before going to other cities. So it's the first stepping stone of the castle. That's all I wanted to say.
You can
Okay.
scroll Tessa so
Yes.
that they can see, and Theo, if there's a point you want her to stop on or you want to talk on more. But this is his page. And so I had mentioned to Theo for large investments, we would be using Fairmint, the funding portal. And you even had an opportunity to talk to Joris, the main founder
Yeah, yeah, and
yeah.
French as well. Yeah,
I bet you guys got along real well, huh?
yeah. We had a good time.
He's a good
Mm.
guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
So
great guy.
there's the team of people that Theo was mentioning. And then if people want to invest in the project, they would click right there. You're right there, right where it says invest. And that's how they could get started. Um,
Exactly.
and there's a good video there also. Uh,
Mhm. And then we
Anything
have the
else you
pitch
want to
deck.
add, Theo?
We also have the pitch deck for any viewers that would like to get more into depth into financials. They can also contact me anytime through via email or call me. My number's everywhere online, easy to
Yes,
find.
it is.
Just type in Theo Arranz, you can find me everywhere. For more detailed informations, if you want to go deeper into forecasts,
Yeah.
anything.
anything you want to add specific or you want to add to this, Theo?
Everything's pretty straightforward. There's no additional information to add. Um, no, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, you can stop.
Sure.
Just again, I see the need for this.
I see the need as well.
We
I
were
mean,
stuck in traffic for almost an
Miami was
hour
built, yeah,
and we didn't
most
even go
cities,
that far.
yeah, most cities build around cars, roads, but cities like Miami need to build around water. It's a water
Yes,
city.
they
With
do.
water. So, and nothing has been built yet. I mean, they do have a water taxi running right now permanently, but they've been doing water taxis since the 1600s. It's nothing new. Um, so why, with all the leverage that we have today in 2026, we're close to 2030, and we still don't have a reliable water mobility infrastructure in Miami and in the world in general. No one has cracked that code yet. So there is something to do. There is a market there. People are asking for water mobility. So who is going to find it first? That's the question. Who's gonna
Right.
be the first to get there?
Beautiful. Well,
Well,
thank you, Theo, for sharing your opportunity with us, your innovation, I would say, because this is very innovative of you. He
mhm.
is, we'll call him, he is a futurist. So it fits
Yes.
under this, and he saw things that other people didn't. And I saw this as what a solution, because right when he contacted me, I thought, my goodness, this and the experience for when you go to events like that. Um, I think
Yeah,
it,
we're actually look we're in the talks with the Inter Miami stadium, the new stadium on Miami River. I'm not going to promise anything, but we are negotiating a private marina with them to build exclusively for Nava to, avoid having people go there by car and
Hmm.
arrive to the stadium or the Miami Freedom Park complex by boats because Miami Freedom Park is not only going to be a soccer stadium, it's going to be hotels, retail,
yes,
restaurants,
yeah,
offices. It's going to be live 7 days a week. Huge hotspots. The Miami Heat Stadium, Castilla Stadium, restaurants on the water,
yeah.
small hotel venues such as the Standard Hotel. They have accessibility by dock. There's a wide range of possibilities. The Regatta at Coral Gables all over Marina if you want to go up more north. And the sky's the limit. The ocean's the limit. So
I was gonna say, and it's a beautiful ride. So people could choose, do I want to
yeah,
sit in traffic and breathe in exhaust, or do I want to be on the water and, get there faster, but also have a beautiful view? So, I mean,
exactly.
that's what I
And we
would
have
choose.
we 100% have that. It's a mobility transportation for a need,
Yeah.
but also for leisure in a way
Yes.
where okay,
And
if
exclusivity. So a different
yeah,
way to get to a date that's down over there. Like what,
exactly.
that's an awesome way
I
to
look at it as
travel.
the experience also.
Yes, the
I mean,
experience.
instead of saying, hey, as a date night of a dinner, instead it would be on the boat and you would eat. I just see so much of the experience on it. So on that note, Tessa,
I
will
will.
you close us out of
Yes,
here like you always
absolutely.
do?
Absolutely. So if you do want more information about Nava, you can go to ridenava.com. I know we have it on the screen when we were showing the website, but I'm going to put it on the screen for you now. And if you want more information about Reagan's projects with Fifth Avenue Capital, you can go to 5thaavc.com. And don't forget to hit bell so you get notifications when we go live. And thank you, Theo. Thank you, Regan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I look forward to getting a taxi ride across the water soon, very, very soon. And I hope everything goes great for you. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you all next time.